everyone. I was talking to a client of mine the other day, and they asked me a question. And it's a question that I think all of us stumble upon at some point in our lives. They asked me the question, how do you connect or determine your purpose? And I was like, that's kind of a loaded question, but I think two things showed up for me in that conversation, which was interesting. I think when you dissect trying to find your purpose, you're looking for something that gives you energy, something that you enjoy doing, something that you're passionate about. And I think you also are looking for something that you're good at. And so what showed up for me is basically two things. Number one, if you're having trouble finding your purpose, I think part of the equation is that you don't know yourself well enough, or the action that is required for you at this step or this stage is to get to know yourself better. And so the question comes up, how do you get to know yourself better? Obviously, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. My recommendation for this individual was to spend time with yourself. If you want to get to know someone, you ask them, hey, you want to go grab a cup of coffee for a couple hours and just hang out and talk? So how often do we do that with ourselves? We very rarely we find it weird or awkward to go out and just kind of live in your own thoughts, have conversations with yourself, write down questions and journal about what's happening in our minds, getting to know ourselves. And so just a kind of quick call to action, if you are unable to find your purpose or you're struggling to find your purpose, and part of the equation is to get to know yourself, just find a way where you get to be alone, go out on a walk. Years ago, one of the things that was recommended to me was to go to another country. I went to Japan for 3 weeks. And, at the time I had a wife. I can't remember if I have a kid or not, but I went off alone into another country to reset my identity. In that other country, I didn't know the language. I wasn't Peter. I wasn't a doctor. I wasn't a coach. I wasn't a husband, son. I wasn't anybody. I was just a random person in another country, just another person. When you're in a new place, you have to figure out what you want to do. You start to live in your own thoughts because you don't know anyone. And so good exercise to go to a kind of a foreign land where you don't know the language to force yourself to get to know yourself. That was puzzle piece number one for me that showed up for me. And number two was finding your purpose, I think, involves, like I said, finding the thing that gives you energy, finding the thing that makes you passionate. I think the other component to this is really developing the muscle of desire. Long ago, whether it was the Asian culture, whether it was the academic, like the strict academic setting that I was in, I basically operated under obligation. I could only do things unless I had to do it or someone told me what to do. At that time, I was not very good at the muscle of desire. In order to develop desire, you have to reflect on the things that you enjoy doing. You tap into pride. You write down the things that you're really proud of. You try to figure out what things you're really good at. What things do you constantly speak about? When someone asks you that right question, you just go on and on and on and on and on about. You can also look into your hobbies and try to dissect what exactly about that hobby did I enjoy, to try to come up with the puzzle pieces of the things that light you up. Just kind of quick and easy advice on finding your purpose. One is create space for yourself to get to know yourself, ask the questions, write down things, live in your own mind. And the other portion would be tap into desire and develop that muscle. Get really good at knowing what lights you up and knowing the things you enjoy. Hope that was helpful for you. Take care.